How did my mom's love for dance turn into my nightmare? I found my love for ballet when I was 8. Watching old videos of my mom performing before her injury, she looked literally like a swan princess floating across the stage. When I tried copying her moves in our living room, doing wobbly pirouettes that probably looked more like a washing machine on spin cycle, something just clicked inside me. My mom caught me practicing and her face lit up with this pure joy I'd never seen before, immediately enrolling me at the best dance academy 2 towns over. Those first few months were absolutely magical. Dancing became this special thing that connected me and mom like we were finally speaking the same language. She'd volunteer at the studio constantly, bringing homemade snacks for everyone and helping younger kids. I felt so proud when other kids would literally gush about how I was so lucky to have such a supportive mom. Mom would film my practice sessions and we'd analyze them together like little dance scientists, her pointing out techniques while I soaked up every word like a sponge. These are what real dancers wear, sweetheart. You have the talent to deserve the best, she'd say about the $800 professional leotards she bought me, and even though they felt way too fancy, hearing that made me want to work harder than anyone else in class. Everything felt perfect. I was improving faster than anyone, and mom seemed genuinely proud of me for the first time ever. But then something started shifting. Around my 10th birthday, I could literally feel the pressure building every single day, like a storm cloud following me around. Mom began pointing out how my posture wasn't quite as sharp as hers had been at my age, and how my grandjets lacked the height she remembered achieving, which honestly made me feel like I was failing some test I didn't even know I was taking. When I was your age, I could hold my arabesque for 30 seconds. Let's work on your core strength became something I heard constantly, and I'd get this sick feeling in my stomach whenever she'd demonstrate moves with this weird intensity in her eyes. The absolute worst part was walking into my room one day and finding her trying on one of my leotards. Like, Mom, that's literally my costume. When she saw my horrified face, she just casually mentioned how crazy it was that we were the same size she'd been during her peak years. You can wear my old competition costume from regionals, she offered. I felt trapped because saying no would hurt her feelings, but wearing it felt like she wanted me to become her. Then one day she just announced I couldn't do soccer anymore, which I'd been playing for 2 years and literally loved, saying it would interfere with my muscle memory. And when I tried to explain that I'd convinced her to let me play specifically because it helped my footwork, she admitted she'd already called my coach behind my back to drop me from the team. When I finally worked up the courage to tell her I was thinking about quitting dance for soccer, she looked at me like I'd literally stabbed her and said, "Do you want to disappoint everyone who's invested in you? Are you really going to throw away your gift for kicking a ball around like some basic athlete?" The guilt was crushing, but I was also terrified that if I got too good, she'd hate me for succeeding where she'd failed. I started having these panic attacks before every performance. Ms. Rodriguez noticed and gently suggested that maybe mom was being a bit intense. Suddenly we were switching studios and I knew my old life was officially over. The night of my spring recital, I could feel mom's energy crackling as she helped me warm up backstage. She kept staring at Melody, this girl from my old studio, muttering things like, "That red costume is clearly chosen to steal your spotlight." I was trying to focus on my routine, but mom was locked in with this look in her eyes that made my stomach drop. During the pre-show chaos, I lost track of mom for maybe 5 minutes, but when Melody took the stage for her variation, something went horribly wrong. She slipped and hit the floor with this sickening crack that echoed through the whole theater, her wrist bending at an angle that made everyone gasp. While people rushed to help Melody, I felt this awful mix of guilt and relief that my biggest competition was gone. But then the theater director announced they'd reviewed security footage and needed to speak with my mother immediately. Standing frozen in my blue costume like a deer in headlights, I watched through the doorway as mom faced 5 angry parents and 2 police officers, screaming, "They're all trying to sabotage us. I was just protecting our future from people who don't understand what real dedication looks like." The words hit me like a truck. She'd hurt Melody on purpose for me, and suddenly every sacrifice felt twisted and disgusting. The last image burned into my brain is watching security drag my mother away, while she's still screaming about protecting me, her face looking like something from a horror movie. And I realized the woman who taught me to love dance had literally become a monster, who'd break a kid's bones just to live through me. Now I'm 17, living with my dad, and I haven't touched a pair of ballet shoes since that night, because every time I even think about dancing, I see Melody's face twisted in pain. Mom's banned from literally every studio in our area and dealing with legal stuff, but she still insists in family therapy that she was protecting my gift, and Melody only had a minor fracture anyway. Like, the audacity is actually unreal. The scariest part? I found out she's been sliding into young dancers' DMs on Instagram and TikTok, telling them she's available for private coaching.